In this video, we're going to talk about something that could quietly change the everyday lives of millions of older Americans, a 100% tariff on all imports from China, starting in November 2025. Now, that might sound like politics, but it's not. This is personal. It affects your medicine, your groceries, your medical equipment, and even your retirement savings. If you're living on a fixed income, you already know how one small price increase can throw off your whole budget. In this video, I'll share 9 important warnings every senior in America needs to understand right now, along with simple steps you can take to protect your health, your finances, and your peace of mind. And before we start, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Just drop your city or state in the comments below. Point 1. Prescription drug prices will soar. For most older adults, prescription medication isn't optional, it's a lifeline. Whether it's for blood pressure, diabetes, or pain relief, these medicines keep you healthy, steady, and able to enjoy your daily life. But here's the hard truth, with the new 100% tariff on imports from China, the cost of those very medicines could rise sharply, and sooner than you might think. You see, China is one of the world's largest suppliers of what's called active pharmaceutical ingredients, the essential building blocks used to make many of the drugs we rely on here in the United States. When tariffs make those ingredients more expensive, the companies that produce and sell medication simply pass that extra cost on to you, the customer. That means a bottle of pills that once cost $30 might suddenly cost $60 or more. And if manufacturers can't get enough ingredients, some medications could even become hard to find. For seniors living on Social Security or retirement income, this kind of price jump can be more than stressful, it can be dangerous. Skipping doses, cutting pills in half, or delaying refills might seem like small adjustments, but they can lead to serious health problems, hospital visits, or even life-threatening situations. The good news is, you can start preparing now. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about generic alternatives that don't rely as heavily on imported ingredients. If your insurance allows it, ask for a 90-day refill on your most essential medications so you have a small buffer in case of delays. Also, look into Medicare's Extra Help program, which can reduce out-of-pocket costs for many seniors. And above all, stay informed. Knowing which of your medicines could be affected gives you time to plan ahead. Point 2. Grocery prices will quietly rise. Let's be honest, the grocery store has already become one of the most stressful places for older Americans. Every week, something costs a little more. Eggs, milk, bread, all creeping up a few cents at a time until suddenly, your grocery bill is $20 higher than it used to be. Now, with the new 100% tariff on Chinese imports, that slow climb could turn into a steep hill. You might be thinking, what does China have to do with my groceries? More than most people realize. Many of the materials and products used to grow, package, and deliver food, things like fertilizer, plastics, machinery, and even shipping containers, are tied to China's economy. When those costs rise, farmers and food manufacturers raise their prices too. And when that happens, it hits your local grocery store shelves right where it hurts, in your wallet. Seniors often feel this pinch harder than anyone else because most live on fixed incomes. A few extra dollars here and there might not sound like much to younger people, but when every penny is already accounted for rent, prescriptions, and utilities, it adds up fast. Over time, you may find yourself buying less fresh produce, skipping proteins, or relying more on cheap, processed foods. And that can lead to health problems like weakened immunity, slower healing, and higher medical bills. But here's what you can do. Start tracking your grocery spending. A small notebook or even a phone app can help you notice patterns before they get out of control. Plan your meals ahead of time, buy in bulk when you can, and make use of senior discount programs that many grocery stores quietly offer. If you qualify, consider applying for SNAP, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Thousands of eligible seniors never apply simply because they don't realize they can. Point 3. Medical devices may become scarce. For many older adults, medical devices are not luxury items, they're part of daily life. Your blood pressure monitor, hearing aid, glucose meter, walker, or mobility scooter helps you stay independent, safe, and connected to the world around you. But with the upcoming 100% tariff on Chinese imports, many of these essential tools could become harder to find or much more expensive. Here's why: a large portion of the parts used to make these medical devices, like chips, sensors, and batteries, come from China. When the cost of importing those parts doubles, manufacturers are forced to raise prices or slow down production. That means fewer devices on store shelves, longer wait times for replacements, and higher out-of-pocket costs for seniors who can least afford it. Imagine needing a new hearing aid or blood sugar monitor, only to find it's backordered for months or twice the price. For many seniors, that's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. If your glucose meter breaks, you can't track your blood sugar. If your hearing aid stops working, you lose connection to family and friends. If your walker or scooter becomes unstable, it puts you at risk of falling, something that could change your life in an instant. These aren't small issues, they're real risks that can affect your health and independence. The best thing you can do right now is to check what you already have. Make sure your devices are in good condition, your batteries are fresh. Also, talk to your doctor or occupational therapist about alternative brands that don't rely on Chinese components. Some certified refurbished or second-hand devices can also be safe and cost-effective options if you buy from trusted sources. And if you live in an assisted living facility, ask the staff how they plan to handle potential shortages in medical supplies. Point 4. Stress and anxiety will increase. When prices go up but your income stays the same, it's not just your wallet that suffers, it's your peace of mind. Many older adults already live with the stress of stretching a limited budget to cover essentials like food, medicine, and utilities. The new 100% tariff on Chinese imports could quietly add more pressure, and that stress can take a real toll on your emotional and physical health. You see, financial anxiety isn't just about money. It affects how you sleep, how you eat, and even how you connect with others. Many seniors tell me they lie awake at night worrying about bills or unexpected expenses. Others quietly skip meals, delay medication refills, or stop social activities just to save a few dollars. That kind of stress can lead to serious health problems, higher blood pressure, heart strain, depression, and even isolation. And let's be honest, it's harder to deal with stress as we age. We can't just work overtime or pick up another job to make up the difference like we could years ago. When you've spent a lifetime working, you deserve peace, not panic. But constant bad news about rising prices and shortages can make it feel like the world is closing in. So what can you do? First, don't carry it alone. Reach out to people you trust, a family member, a friend, your church group, or even your local senior center. Sometimes just talking about what's worrying you can make it lighter. Second, create a simple financial plan. Write down your essential expenses, your medications, food, and housing, so you know where your money truly needs to go. This helps reduce the feeling of being out of control. Third, remember that help exists. Many communities offer free or low-cost counseling for seniors. You don't have to face financial or emotional stress on your own. And finally, limit how much negative news you consume. It's important to stay informed, but too much doom and gloom can feed anxiety. Choose one or two reliable sources and step away once you've learned what you need. Point 5. Senior care facilities will raise prices. For many older adults, senior care facilities aren't just buildings, they're homes. Whether it's an assisted living community, a nursing home, or a rehabilitation center, these places provide daily care, medical support, and companionship. But what many people don't realize is that these facilities depend heavily on imported products, from hospital beds and kitchen supplies to cleaning materials and medical equipment. When the 100% tariff on Chinese imports takes effect, the cost of those items will rise dramatically. And unfortunately, most care centers can't absorb those costs themselves. They pass them on to residents and their families. That means monthly fees may go up, services could be reduced, or extras, like transportation, meal variety, or in-room checkups, might suddenly come with added charges. For seniors already living on a tight income, this could create real hardship. Imagine paying hundreds more each month for the same level of care, or having to move to a smaller room or a lower-cost facility because the bills became unmanageable. Even those receiving Medicaid may feel the effects, as not all programs adjust quickly enough to cover rising expenses. This is why it's so important to plan ahead. If you currently live in a care facility, take time to review your contract or payment plan. Ask direct questions. What happens if supply costs rise? Will resident fees increase? Are there alternative sourcing plans in place? It's your right to know. If you're still living independently but expect to need care in the near future, start exploring options now while prices are stable. Compare facilities, talk to your family or financial advisor, and find out what kind of support your insurance or long-term care coverage offers. Point 6. Families will feel financial pressure. Even if you're managing your own needs today, chances are your family is feeling the squeeze too, and that pressure often circles right back to you. Many seniors rely on their adult children for help with things like transportation, medical costs, or just a bit of financial support when times get tough. But when prices rise across the board, groceries, utilities, healthcare, those same adult children may start struggling to keep up with their own expenses. Think about it this way. Your daughter or son might already be juggling a mortgage, car payments, kids' school fees, and health insurance. When the 100% tariff takes effect and the cost of nearly everything increases, they'll have less room in their budget to lend a helping hand. Not because they don't want to, but because they simply can't. And when that happens, it can cause quiet guilt and strain on both sides. You might find yourself saying, "I don't want to be a burden," while they silently worry about how to make things work. These unspoken stresses can lead to family tension, skipped doctor visits, delayed home repairs, or cutting back on small comforts that once made life enjoyable. But the truth is, pretending everything's fine doesn't help anyone. The best solution is open communication. Talk with your loved ones about what's happening. Be honest about your financial needs and ask about theirs. These conversations might feel uncomfortable Here's what's happening behind the scenes. When tariffs increase, companies that rely on imported materials have to pay more to produce their goods. That cuts into their profits, and when profits fall, stock prices often follow. Since most retirement accounts, like 401(k)s, IRAs, or mutual funds, are invested in these companies, their losses can cause your account balance to drop. Even a 5 to 10% decline in the market could mean thousands of dollars gone from your nest egg. For someone living on a fixed income, that's not just numbers on a screen, that's money for medications, food, or housing. And if you're drawing monthly income from those investments, those payments might shrink too, creating even more pressure. Now, this doesn't mean you should panic or make sudden changes. The worst thing you can do is react out of fear. Instead, take calm, practical steps. Review your portfolio with a trusted financial advisor, preferably someone who understands senior finances. Make sure your investments match your age and needs. If most of your money is in high-risk stocks, it might be time to shift some toward safer, more stable options like U.S. Treasury bonds, CDs, or fixed-income annuities. Also, make sure you have an emergency fund, at least 3 to 6 months of essential expenses in an easily accessible account. That cushion can protect you during market downturns without forcing you to sell investments when prices are low. Finally, try to limit how often you check the market. Watching daily ups and downs can create unnecessary stress. Instead, focus on long-term trends and regular check-ins with your advisor. Point 8. Medicare and Social Security could be pressured. For millions of older Americans, Medicare and Social Security are more than just programs, they're lifelines. They help pay for your doctor visits, medications, and monthly expenses. You earn these benefits through decades of hard work, and you depend on them to live with dignity. But here's the concern: major trade disruptions, like a 100% tariff on imports from China, can quietly put pressure on these very systems. Here's how it works. When tariffs increase, businesses often slow down, prices rise, and people buy less. That means the government collects less in taxes, both from companies and from workers. When tax revenue falls, lawmakers start looking for ways to cut costs elsewhere. And too often, that conversation turns toward Medicare and Social Security. Even a small policy adjustment, like slower cost of living increases or tighter eligibility rules, could make a big difference in your monthly check. Now, this doesn't mean your benefits will disappear, but it's a reminder that these systems depend on a stable economy. If trade tensions and inflation continue, there's a chance that reimbursements to doctors could shrink or that future payments won't rise fast enough to keep up with costs. And when your grocery bill and medication prices are already climbing, even a small gap in benefits can hit hard. So what can you do right now? First, review your Medicare plan carefully. Make sure it's still the best fit for your medical needs. Sometimes switching plans during open enrollment can save you real money. Second, check your Social Security income and create a realistic budget that accounts for rising expenses. This helps you stay ahead of any small benefit changes that might come later. Third, look into state and local assistance programs that help seniors with healthcare, housing, or food costs. Many people don't realize how much support is out there because they never ask. And finally, stay engaged as a voter and citizen. Contact your representatives. Let them know these programs matter deeply to you, and that seniors are watching. Point 9. Critical shortages could happen overnight. Most of us think shortages only happen during disasters, hurricanes, wars, or pandemics. But the truth is, a major tariff like the new 100% tax on imports from China could create sudden shortages of everyday items right here at home. And for seniors who rely on specific products for their health and independence, even a short delay can become a serious problem. Here's why: when the cost of importing goods doubles, many companies simply stop ordering them. Some look for new suppliers, but that takes time. Others reduce their stock to save money. As a result, store shelves that once seemed full could start emptying out, not just for luxury products, but for essentials. Items like insulin, blood pressure monitors, hearing aid batteries, walkers, or even certain types of bandages could suddenly become hard to find. Now imagine going to the pharmacy and hearing, "We're out of stock, check back in 2 weeks." For someone who needs oxygen parts, a glucose sensor, or special dietary supplies, that's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous. These kinds of gaps can happen quickly when supply chains are disrupted by tariffs. The smart thing to do is prepare early, without panicking. Make a list of what you truly depend on: your medications, medical devices, and other essential supplies. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about having an extra 30 or 90-day supply of medicine if your plan allows it. Keep spare batteries or backup parts for the devices you use daily. If you live in a senior community or assisted living facility, ask the management what plans they have if shortages occur. Staying informed means you won't be caught off guard. And communicate with your loved ones. Let them know what items are vital for your health, so they can help if supplies run low. You've lived through good times and hard times, wars, recessions, rising costs, and constant change. You've built a life through discipline, sacrifice, and love. So let's be clear, this new 100% tariff isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to remind you how powerful preparation can be. What's happening in Washington might feel far away, but the effects could reach your kitchen, your medicine cabinet, and even your retirement account. Higher prices, smaller checks, and Possible shortages, yes, those things are real. But they don't have to catch you off guard. You have something powerful that younger generations often forget: experience. You know how to adapt, how to stretch a dollar, how to stay calm when others panic. Now is the time to use that wisdom. Make small changes before they become urgent. Refill your prescriptions early, review your insurance, talk to your family, and find out what help is available in your community. None of this requires fear, it just requires foresight. If this video helped you understand what's coming, please take a moment to like, share, and comment below about how rising costs are affecting your daily life. Your stories matter, they remind others that they're not alone either.